So good day everyone, good day sir, and we are the BGNT group, and now we'll be presenting our chosen country among the ASEAN group, which is the Vietnam. So Vietnam became a member of the ASEAN nation on July 28, 1995. So the capital city of Vietnam is Hanoi, also spelled as Hanoi City. The city is situated in northern Vietnam on the western bank of the Red River, about 85 miles inland from the South China Sea. So the name of the official currency of Vietnam is the Vietnamese Đồng, which is managed by the State Bank of Vietnam through a crawling peg to the US dollar. For the exchange rate to US dollar, 1 Vietnamese Đồng equals to 0.00042 United States dollar. For the exchange rate to Philippine peso, 1 Vietnamese Đồng equals to 0.0025 Philippine peso. The official languages of Vietnam is Vietnamese. So Vietnamese is the official language, while English is increasingly favored as a second language. French, Chinese, Khmer, and various Highlander languages are also spoken. Between 85% to 90% of Vietnam's residents are ethnically Vietnamese. Now, for the number of ethnic languages, while Vietnamese is the singular official and national language of the country, there are 110 officially recognized dialects and languages spoken in Vietnam, maintaining the vast linguistic diversity of the country.
So, Vietnam has its different ethnic languages. First, the Vietnamese, or the Kinh. It is an Austroasiatic language originating from Vietnam, where it is the national and official language that is used by the people of Vietnam. Next, Tu or Thai. It is the major Thai language of Vietnam, spoken by more than 1 million Thai people in northeastern Vietnam. Next is Thai or Thai. It is one of Vietnam's 54 ethnic groups. Next is Muong. These are ethnic groups native to northern Vietnam. It is the country's third largest 53 minority groups. Next is Hmong. The Hmong people are a sub-ethnic group of the Mao people who originated from central China that today mainly live in Vietnam. Next is Khmer. It is a Khmer language that is spoken by most of the population of Cambodia, where it is the official language, and by some 1.3 million people in southeastern Thailand, and by also more than 1 million people in southern Vietnam. Next, we have the Nuong. It is a Thai Kadai language spoken mostly in Cao Bang and Luang Sun provinces in Vietnam. And the last one, we have the Dao. They were known as a migrating community from China in the 12th and 13th century and early 20th century. So in Vietnam, the language of instruction used there is Vietnamese. So, talking about the percentage of different ethnic groups in Vietnam, first we have the Vietnamese, which we have the total population of 85.32%. The Du is 1.92%. The Thai has 1.89%. The Muong has 1.51%. The Hmong has 1.45%. The Khmer has 1.37%. The Nuong has 1.13%. And the last one is the Dao has 0.93% total of population. So, talking about population, the current population of Vietnam is 98,217,096 based on projections of the latest United Nations data. In Vietnam, the type of government there is a socialistic republic with a fairly authoritarian government. So in Vietnam, the agency who took care of their education there is the Ministry of Education and Training, who is responsible for the governance of general or academic education and higher education in Vietnam. And its vocational education there is controlled by the Ministry of Labor, Invalids, and Social Affairs of Vietnam.
In 2021, there were roughly 12,500 active primary schools in Vietnam, according to Statistica 2022 report that is spanning with over more than 288,000 classrooms. In 2022 also, Statistica reported that there were about 242 universities operating in Vietnam. 176 of them were public universities and 66 were private. Around 249.5 trillion Vietnamese dong was spent on education and training in Vietnam in 2021, as shown in its government transparency report, equivalent to 618 billion Philippine pesos or 11 billion US dollar. According to the World Bank's collection of development indicators, Vietnam's contribution to education and training was close to 4% of its GDP and a total of 14.82% from government expenditure, with an annual rise of 0.41% from 2020. As shown in the data presented herewith, adult literacy rates have increased gradually over the past 30 years, with the exception of a small to no change in the year 2000. Women in Vietnam have lower adult literacy rates than males do over the past decades.
Overall literacy rate of female adults for the last 30 years in Vietnam: 1979, 78.15%, 1989, 82.83%, 1999, 86.92%, 2000, 86.91%, 2009, 91.38%, 2019, 94.57%. Education in Vietnam is a state-run system of public and private education run by the Ministry of Education and Training. It is divided into 5 levels: preschool, primary school, secondary school, high school, and higher education. Formal education consists of 12 years of basic education. Basic education consists of 5 years of primary education, 4 years of secondary education, and 3 years of high school education. The majority of basic education students are enrolled on a daily basis. The main education goal in Vietnam is improving people's general knowledge, training quality of human resources, and nurturing and fostering talent. In the school year 2021 to 2022, the pupil-to-teacher ratio in primary education in Vietnam was approximately 24.1 pupils for every teacher available. Vietnam provides better quality schooling that fosters higher order cognitive and behavioral skills such as creative and critical thinking for more young people. Here are the top 10 universities in Vietnam. First, Vietnam National University, Hanoi. Second, Doi Tan University. Third, Can Tho University. Fourth, National Economics University. Fifth, Ton Doc Thang University. Sixth, Hue University. Seventh, FPT University. 8. Hanoi National University of Education. 9. Lac Hong University. And lastly, Hanoi Medical University. And that would be all for our reporting. Thank you.
And now we'll be presenting our graphic organizer about the 21st century teaching learning. So for the 21st century teaching learning, we have to be a relationship builder, have critical thinking, and be collaborative, and have leadership. We also need to have to be reflective, media-driven, learner-centered, digital designer, have digital literacy, provide good communication, be inclusive, a leader, and have cross-disciplinary language.